Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Unreal Engine tutorial. My name is Saragan, and today we're going to be looking at PCG and how to save your level once you've made changes. Now, there's been a bit of hoo-ha about this because the easy way the easy way to do it is broken currently at runtime. So I came up with an alternative solution, and I thought I would share that with you today, just so you can see how it works, understand how it works, and hey, maybe you don't even want to use the other way anymore. Who knows? So let's get started. I've just created a new project, and I have enabled the have we got it? Can I select it in here? No, I'll have to type it. Procedural Content Generation Framework, PCG. This is currently in beta. Do bear that in mind, but I imagine it's fairly stable, so I imagine it'll probably come core relatively soon. So I've got my landscape here. I've not worried about world partitioning or anything at this current time, and I've created a new PCG graph and just added some stuff in here. I'm not going to go through PCG because that's not really the purpose. It's mostly just to, how to save out any changes. But I'll go through this bit quickly. I'm just getting landscape data. I'm sampling the surface. I'm adjusting the density. I'm just put some random transforms, and I'm just spawning a cube. So nice and simple. If I drag that into the world, you can see we've now got our PCG going, and I'm gonna have to move this one for the time being, and there. Now on our new PCG, if we come over to details here, we do have the seed here, and we can change that, and that's pretty much how you change the seed. This can be done prior to runtime, but you will have to clear and regenerate, but we will figure that out sooner or later. So where to start? How PCG is structured. So when we have our PCG graph here, this static mesh spawner, every single one of these, if I added another one, would end up in an instanced static mesh component. Okay. At the moment, I don't believe it does hierarchical, and hierarchical really is best for foliage, and it's not doing that. I'm not entirely too sure why they chose to go around this route, but who knows. So at this particular point, just think of it that it's created an actor with an instance static mesh component. So on that note, we are going to create an actor, and we're going to call this BP instance. Call it what you like. It's no big deal. And we're going to add, actually we're not even going to bother adding an instance static mesh, because we're going to do this at part of the save and loading process. So we're just going to create that, and effectively what we're going to do is when we want to save, we're going to take our PCG, we're going to grab all the instance locations, and then we're going to add it to our instance. So what else do we need? We need a save game. Start typing in the right place, please. No, it's not going to give it to me. Blueprint, all classes, save game. There we are. And we're just going to call this instance save. Not going to worry about naming conventions in here. And in here, we also want a new structure. And we are just going to call this instances. Okay. Let me just hit save all in case the project crashes. And in this structure, and we want our mesh, which is going to be our static mesh class reference. And then we need transforms. and this is going to be transforms, and it's going to be an array. So what we will do is in our saved game, we can now add our variable for instances of type s underscore instance. Okay, so we need to create a, let's create a game instance. I'll call game GI, and don't forget in our project settings, maps and modes, change that to game GI. And I want to add a custom event called convert level. This has to be in a place that has access to world. Save game apparently doesn't unless you pass it in. So get all actors of class. Now, this is a PCG graph. What it dumps out is what's called a PCG volume. Okay. So in here, you can see we've got a PCG volume off to the side here. In here, we now have this. So we need a for loop. And then for each, get components by class. And we want to have an instanced static mesh component. For that, we also need a for loop. The reason why I'm doing all PCG volumes in here is because you might have, you know, 2 of them going, and you kind of want to cover all PCG volumes. So on here for each one of these, we would like, actually no, we had that right the first time. We need a new S instance, so we can make an S instance. And here we need this is an instance static mesh, so we can do get static mesh and get class, and that should get the class of that static mesh. Okay, I am going to create another function here, custom event, get. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to make this an actual function because I'm going to need one. Get instance transforms, and this will have a return, and it's going to be transforms an array. And what we need is an input, instance static mesh component, object reference, and it's going to be singular. There is no way at the moment just to get all transforms. You have to get them individually. So what did I call that? Component. So in here we can get instance count, and then if we just do a for loop, a regular one, we can plug that in there, and then we can do get instance transform, and we're going to have just a local variable. Oh, can't name it that. I'll just call it trans for the moment, because it's our working one, and we just want to add that transform there. The index needs to be plugged into that. There we are. And then once completed, we just return our transform list. Cool. So going back to our event graph, we can call that. Our target is our component, and our transforms go into there. We need a array. No, not a new function. An array, please. Thank you. And this is going to be converted. Converted instances, if I can spell, and this is just going to be a array of S instance, which is already set. Marvelous. Converted instance, and we want to add converted instance. Let us do another custom event for save instances. This is where we start actually doing the save game. So we've got convert. Did I not call it convert instances? Convert level. I swear my brain is dribbling out of my ear right now. Convert level, right. So now that should fill that with all the instances that we want. Create, save, game slot. And we want our instant save. So we need to set instance. Did I not set that as an array? I did not set that as an array. I set that as an array on your instance save. And let's just redo that set instance. There we are. That can then be set to our converted instance. And here we can do our save games slot. And you can do this like whatever map name you wanna give this, but I'm just going to call this test for the time being. And that is going to save all of these into our game slot. Now, we need a load game, so custom event, and we're going to call load instances. And also we need another custom event, which we're going to call ClearPCG. And PCG is going to do pretty much what this does. Grab all our PCGs. So we don't even need to do that. We'll just destroy. Because we won't need those anymore. And our load instance, we need to load game from slot. And we called it test. As I said, you can just call it a world name. Here we need to cast to instance save. And then we have our instances, which for the moment I will just set back into here. Right, well we're making progress, and let's just do some quick testing. I want to make sure that that is all working. So let's add some key presses. I'm not going to use the new thing for this because I mean it take more time to set up than just having that. So P is going to be our save, and we're going to call save instance. I am going to add just a print string on the end just so we can see that is now saved. and we want the L key for load. That's going to be our load instances. And finally, our C key is going to be our ClearPCG function. Now, hopefully, straight off the bat, we have our thing. If I hit C, it does nothing. Why does it do nothing? Okay, that was a little bit of a run around. These in the game instance don't work there for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's the key system. It should just work on your game instance. But either way, I have moved them to RBP First Player controller, which I just added the get game instance, set it to a variable, and then just called the same things on the same keys. So now if we're in here and I press K, you can see that clears all the PCGs. What we need is we need our P key. So you see that is saved. And we haven't got the loading working as yet. We can probably put a breakpoint in here. And we see we've got one instance and it's set to a static mesh, and we have 79 transforms. Okay. So how do we manage our load instances? Let's just move you up here. And in this, we're going to loop over this. And I want to create another custom function. Add instance. I'm just going to call it add instance. And we're going to take a static mesh class. Transforms. Actually, just transforms. Transforms. That's what I was looking for. And that is going to be a transform and an array. Now, spawn actor from class. Give it our mesh. Why is that not there? Our actor is going to be our BP instance. Spawn transform doesn't really matter because this is going to spawn things outside. We have our thing. We want to add component by class, and we want to add our instance static mesh. I'm just going to split that as well. And then on here, we can set static mesh. Okay, I've made a grievous mistake. And I need... That does need to be a static mesh, but it actually needs to be a reference. Which means that in our load up here, we just need that. And then that means on here, this also needs to be that. Okay, and on here as well, we have this add instances. Now we've got that, and we have our transforms. And I tend to do it by world space. I don't know what we did in our function. Do we get it by world space? We did not. So let's get it by world space and tag this one down here by world space. So for that, we can then split this that we converted our instance, and we can just click add instancer. We have our mesh, and we have our transforms. Now, Here's a test. So we have this. We have saved it. We've cleared it. And we have now loaded it. Nice and quick. Nice and simple. Now, what will have changed here? So this save instance convert level stuff will only work while there is a PCG volume. Now, what you'll end up having is, because we've now loaded it with our instances that have an instant static mesh, we need a similar function to save non-PCG. So what I tend to do is on begin play here. I tend to convert level and then clear the PCG. And load level. Oh, that needs game instance. And that just means that does that off the bat. Right, what else have we got? So that does convert level and save. Once it is saved, I'm just going to come back into here. Load from save, and let's move you along. So if it's false, we want a new game. If it's true, we want to load from the save game. So we still need to clear our PCG. We still need to load our instances. Marvelous. We also need a save non-PCG version. So this really is going to be the same as this, but instead of a PCG volume, we're going to be looking for our BP instance. So just to save time, I'm going to copy all of that. And I want to do get all actors of class BP instance. So you could probably have done this through another function, but just to save time, I'm just copying it so you know what we're doing. And effectively, this is going to be the same thing. I mean, you can see how similar a PCG volume is to our own instance. I avoid using and spawning in new PCG stuff because I feel that it's still a little buggy, whereas having an instant static mesh component stuff is a lot cleaner. At least at this current time. This may change in future. So on our thing we want here, so we had our save instance, and that I'm going to now change to save non-PCG. And we are going to make sure that we load from save. So that should be our thingies. If I hit P, that did nothing. Did I have a print string on the end of that? I did not. I couldn't tell whether that was saved or not. So that's now saved. Now, changes. Changes, they're fairly straightforward. So I'm just going to have it that you look at the character, look at a box, and it'll disappear. First person blueprints, and let's create a new function, get trace, and we want to do a line trace by channel. I will just do it on visibility. I will get our camera, get world location, that can go in there. Get world rotation, get forward, vector, multiply 100. Add that to that. Let's put that as the end, and let's break this out. So there's my tick event. Event tick, get trace. Boom. Now, just so I can double check that that is all working, get display name. I'm just going to print string. What did it not like? Oh. Get name. Object name will do. That's fine. Doesn't need to be a display name. None. Oh, did I not set... What did I set this to? Let's do 1000. Landscape. See, BP instance. This is all the same BP instance. Okay, now, in here, we have a hit component. So our hit component is going to be cast to instanced static mesh component, because that's what we're working on. And on here, we can actually do remove instance. So we can remove specific instance, and this hit item is the number that we have removed that we're looking at. So if I look at this now, see, we're removing specific instances. Nice and simple. So you can do like trees and then have your actor chop a tree down, and on hit you can have it remove it. I mean, this is what I've done in my game, so I know it works. So with that, we want to remove that little cube that's down there. I'm going to hit P for save. I'm going to load it, and it's still there. Why is it still there? We have not actually called the save logic, which is why we needed the print string. So feel free to tidy this up a little bit. I'm just trying to show you how to actually save it. So now if we thing me that should be save. Why are you not saving? Oh. Probably adding it to the converted instances that was there. So let's see. There we go. That's now saving. So if I clear a few of these all around me, so that's what it looks like now. Save it. Play it. There is nothing in my list that I can that I can get any closer. So I can literally, let's just clear a large section. Nice large section. Save that. Play it. You see that's all cleared. So yeah, that is pretty much how you would save a PCG, in my opinion. There might be a better way. The other way that was supposed to be was that you used to be able to do ClearPCGLink. But if you try and do this at runtime, it literally just breaks. So yeah, that is pretty much it in how to do it. Sorry, it's a little bit messy in places, but I was just trying to show the process rather than show how clean to make it. The C++ for this is exactly the same. So I'm not going to do a video on that. There is no point. The whole process, get all actors, loop over, grab all these static mesh components, get the transforms. It is all the same. There is no difference in the C++. If people specifically want me to do a C++ version of this, I can do. But as I said, following this, it should be relatively straightforward to migrate. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining me. And I hope that's helped some people. Bye for now. Bye-bye.